You know what I mean? And that's like the last thing you want. Yep. Yeah, you got to be careful. You got to be careful because, like I follow a lot of things, but I try to keep it fairly private just so that way, I don't like A, influencing people, but B, I don't, because people will freak out. Like if you look at anything and someone sees it, someone has something bad to say, right? No matter what. So I'm just like, I don't got time for this crap. I ain't got no time for this. All I want to do is just shitpost stupid things. All right, so did you send me that really sweet co-tweet? You've been invited to co-tweet. Okay. Rust rewrite live on stream. Okay. Wait. Is that it? You've been invited to co-tweet together? How do I make it a co-tweet? Oh, interesting. Okay, so let me see if I can do it from here. Sorry, this is a terrible interface. Like, I just liked it. I don't know how to, I honestly don't know what to press to say I accept your offer of co-tweeting. Whatever. This is good enough. I'm going to retweet it. And then I'm going to quote tweet it live. Well, what the heck? Well, I just retweeted it. I don't even know how this works. All right, okay, I am checking. Oh, it has to be through the notifications. Oh, it's definitely in the DMs, but maybe it's also. Damn, this thing is just. Okay, there's too much. There's too much. Yeah, just screw it. Just let's do it. You can just make it go live. I don't know how to do it. I literally can't accept it. This is all it gives me. I click it and it's just your tweet. I get to see it. Can we make it go live? Yeah. Well, this is definitely not. Oh, share. Wait. Damn it. No, that did not work at all. Do I heart it? I will like to co-tweet with you now. What the hell is this thing? Sorry. Hold on, Twitch. I know. Yeah, cancel that invite. Hold on, Twitch. We're just getting started. We're trying to figure this crap out. Playing with Astro. Yeah, then we can just make tweets and retweet each other. Okay. I'm going to do it one more time. This time I'm not going to check it from my computer first because that could have been the problem. All right, let's see. You've been invited. Okay, so it doesn't give me an option to accept. Oh, I need to have the app installed. No, I do need to figure this out. Hold on. Make a tweet. We can't hear the guest. Oh, we can't hear the guest. Oh, funny. All right. I bet I know why. I think I have you set to probably like music or some crap. Let's find out. Can you talk for a second?
Hey, hi.
There we go.
Hi.
I got you. I
Hi.
got you. I just can't play music. Don't forget that. Now we can. Okay, good. All right, so let me get signed into the twatters.
Jesus Christ.
I know, it's just a couple quick steps. Okay, I don't want to create an account. I don't want to continue with Google. Just let me have an effing.
Have you posted your I'm not paying for Twitter verified badge tweet
no,
yet?
I haven't signaled yet. I have not signaled my intentions yet.
You might get an Elon reply. I think I could see it.
My general hold on, we've texted verification. My general thing is that I just don't I don't care enough, I think if I had a check mark because I was like cool, that'd be cool. But I'm not.
Yeah.
And so therefore just
you gotta earn it. That's the thing. It's like paying for it. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. That's how I feel.
This is like the most lukewarm take of all. Like I'm like a week late to the I'm not paying for that take.
But it's so boring. It's such a boring take, everyone. everyone has the most boring takes out there. Always just like, you're just like, it just doesn't matter. It just makes it not as cool. Okay, so I've been invited to co-tweet. Here we go.
Got it?
Oh, yeah. Accepted.
Hell
There
yeah.
we go. Boom. Co-tweeted right now. That was cool. I'm glad that I had to do that. Primegen, front-end dev confirmed. I am a front-end dev. I've been wanting to be a front-end dev my whole life. And now I am.
This is your christening.
This is it. All right, look at this. We co-tweeted.
Oh, shit. But on my phone, you got the preview. Oh, no. I got the preview.
You got the preview. Oh, that's
Oh,
hilarious. That's okay.
you were
Yeah, on
supposed
my
to be the
phone, I was
preview.
the preview too. It happens. It doesn't
You're
matter.
supposed to be the preview.
People are going to go here for Astro, but that's okay. Hey, you just got fraternizing. Free advertising.
Exactly. You're making the money on the stream. I'm getting the eyeballs. This feels like the right.
Yeah, I'm going to make so much money. Hey, guys, how much money are we going to make? 1,000? All right, hold on. I got to mute that. People are going to hate that. All right, let's say hi to Twitch. Hey, Twitch.
Hey, Twitch.
Hey, Twitch, $69. That's my favorite amount of dollars. Let's make sure I didn't, because apparently I have notifications off whenever I'm in this scene. So, hey, just thank you.
Yeah, wait, do your fans know you're monetizing them? Just like directly,
Wildly.
they are watching you and money into your pocket. Every view.
Every single view is pennies on the pennies. And
Open your eyes.
Open your eye. Wake up, sheeple. That's my favorite phrase. I got to figure out how to really get that Alex Jones. I try to get down, but I don't have it yet. You know what I mean?
You just gotta like whack the microphone at some point. That's every viral clip I've seen.
Oh,
my God.
there's also shirts off, right? I'm very bad at taking my shirt
Yes.
off on stream. I should. Oh, one of these days I'll come in with tape pre-readied on the nipples, because Twitch does not allow nipples to be exposed unless if you're painting them, then it's okay. So there's like this whole game you got to play. So I could get a paintbrush out.
Yeah, I'm not tuning in for that stream where you paint your nipples. I'm sorry. That's just
The painting nipple stream is an extremely important stream. Okay, it's gonna revolutionize the tech industry.
all right. I'll keep an eye out. That's all I can promise.
I have a repo right now called Titty Sprinkles, and I am willing to upload images.
Can I actually? I know we got to start the stream, but like, our brands are very different, and I feel like this is gonna be an interesting balance between the two. Like, I have trouble swearing on stream. Like, this is like how like buttoned up I normally feel, and I know that's not your brand. We're gonna have to figure this out. I think we're gonna walk the line.
So I don't, you know, I'm not, I curse some. The thing, here's my big deal about cursing, is that it has to be done well. Meaning that you can't just replace what should be used as like a good adjective, like fuckly being an adverb there. But like you have to be able to get a very nice word instead.
It's gotta mean something.
It has to mean something. So
Yeah.
my personal take on swearing is that it has to mean an expression of emotion, and that is it.
Okay.
Like if you stub your
like that.
toe and you yell the F word, I think that's perfectly reasonable.
Okay, see, this is what like I think there's hope for us. I think we're gonna
Yeah.
find a nice middle ground here. I think this is where the people come together. You know, the mixing pot of
Yeah.
ideas and
Yeah.
good curse
Where,
words.
but if you're if you can't think of something and you're like fuck, like I don't like that. See that I don't like that because it's not
Yeah.
not using the word for its intended purpose.
Just lazy.
It's lazy. All right. Sorry. Oh, people are spending money on trying to get TTS. Sorry. Things are off. All right. Let's do edit com or add com. Add com Fred. Fred, where do you want this to go?
Twitter.
Twatter.
Fred K shot, all one word.
All right. Ooh, let's
Give
get you
him a
above
little
that 10,000. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, this could be the stream.
This could be the stream. This could be
This could be it.
This could be the one.
Wow.
The one that does it. All right, everybody, we're here today with Fred right here. You can see his Twitter right here. Fred, you are the co-creator of Astro and the CEO of HTML.
Exactly. All true.
Can you first tell me how you became the CEO of HTML? Like, do you have previous CEO experience?
You know, a van comes up and Brian LaRue, you know, all the other Alex Russell, they just kind of grab you and sit you down and say, you know, this is it. You're the CEO of HTML now.
Okay, I
It
like
wasn't my choice, but it's a thing. It's a crown I wear with grave responsibility.
Okay. This is good. So can you give me like a brief what is Astro? Because I feel pretty stupid right now because I have no idea what Astro is.
So Astro is a web framework, kind of like Next.js or Gatsby or SvelteKit or all the other cool, hot meta frameworks you've been hearing about. But we take a different approach, which is kind of like a answer to where we've seen the web going over the last 10 years. And it's a very different approach to what a web architecture should look like. So instead of a big JavaScript application, what Astro ends up building is something that is Zero.js by default, and then you can kind of add in components as you go. So that Zero.js baseline that everyone's been kind of going after for a while and kind of failing to deliver, that's us right now. We shipped our V1 2 months ago, and we are growing like crazy. So it's been a lot of fun building this thing.
All right. What kind of motivated you to make this, right? Because in a world of, well, really when you're in America, specifically in one of the bigger cities, you effectively have infinite bandwidth. Everyone's walking around with an iPhone. You have infinite memory. What motivates you to build something like this?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, if you look at where the web has evolved, we're always adding more and more JavaScript. Like, it's been one of those things is as the network has increased, the JS has basically increased right along with it. Like, we seem to have this, like, we want to get as much interactivity. Like, we're all trying to recreate those Flash animated websites that you saw back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is that that's starting to grow almost like, maybe not exponentially, but like it's starting to become a problem, even on iPhones. If you've ever gone to a site and like it like layout shifts, like the button doesn't work, we've gotten really good at shipping HTML very quickly, but then the JavaScript still has to kind of chug along afterwards. So even on an iPhone, there's that uncanny valley where like your whole Next.js app is loading on your phone that like built the entire site just to click that buy button. That's where Astro comes in. Like that's our whole like MO is to solve that problem.
I like that. I like that a lot because as you just saw me earlier in this stream, I had to download the Twitter app to actually accept our co-tweet together. And the reality is that I tend to try to use the website, rarely the apps, because I just kind of want that experience. I always want to remind myself of like, well, this is the current state of JavaScript in the world. And like, how does it feel? Because I don't want to be on that side that doesn't have great performance. I really like the feel of a great tool. So I actually am very excited about Astro and its mission because I think that this is a unique take in the web world today, right?
Thank you, man. Yeah.
So
yeah, and I'll just throw out there, like, there is real, like, what used to be this, like, 2 years ago, what you were saying is spot on how everyone felt about performance. Like, yeah, like, I don't only care about the iPhone users in America. It was kind of what everyone, they didn't say that out loud. That's what they were thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Google has started to put, like, real SEO juice, like, the good stuff that gets you to the top of those rankings behind your performance, not just on iPhones, but across the board.
Yeah.
So this is something that everyone building a website today, if you care about converting users, like not just for SEO, for actual conversion rates, like if you're building anything with a lot of users, all those percentages add up. It's a serious thing.
Okay. One last question though. With all that, there's this kind of like this whole gaming of performance. I'm sure you've seen it where people will be like, look at how great my performance is, and it's all green, it's all up to 1,000, like everything's fantastic. But that's like the initial page load. And then after that, you scroll, you do stuff, and you get chunking. Stuff pops in late. It feels kind of jarring. Does Astro also take care of like the mid-page, the in-app performance, or is that still kind of the same kitchen sink interactivity? This is this is the price you pay.
There's a really cool feature that we need to hit on if we start building with this thing. By breaking up your site into a lot of little components, like here's the buy button, here's the header, here's like the really heavy image carousel. For people who still like image carousels, by doing that, you can also control like the priority of them. So we have this really cool feature where like essentially you can say like, listen, this buy button is essential. Like load this thing ASAP. And then like this image carousel, like I don't know, it's halfway down the page. Why am I spending the cost to load that thing? When the user gets right to the page, it's going to block that buy button from even rendering. In that case, you can actually say like, okay, for this component on a component by component basis, this one only if the user ever sees it should it load. It's not a priority, like just delay it as much as possible. And like we give you all these different tools for like basically everywhere on that priority, from load immediately to load like as late as possible. So it's a really cool feature. We definitely try and think through that like long running experience, not just the first page load.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. Because I do have that real big problem, which is everything always feels like it pops right up, and then 3 seconds later, everything else keeps popping up. Like even today on my phone, when it comes to Twitter notifications, what will end up happening is that it will load and I'll start scrolling and the new ones will just start like inserting themselves in the middle of my stuff because it's still like actually just loading the notifications. And I end up missing so many things because it's just not there. It's not in order. They're just kind of lazily doing it, and then the site crashes probably about 2 times a day. It will finally get to the maximum point. It'll just say, sorry, the site's no longer responding. Please reload. And then I have to reload it.
That was the most impressive humble brag. I'm like looking at my notifications like, yeah, me too.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
Totally.
Yeah, I get a lot of notifications. But nonetheless, I mean, the reality
totally.
is that you can't even use their site for longer than about an hour without it crashing from using too much memory on a phone. So, I mean, to me, that's the real fundamental problem is that it's just a kitchen sink. Everything gets tossed in there, and you hope it works. And in the end, it does work, but it just sucks the experience. All right, cool. So I have never built anything with Astro. I have no idea. I assume I make a directory. Should we make a directory? How do we get started? What's the preferred getting started method?
Yeah, so we have this great little bot. If you actually jump back over to the website, astro.build.
Oh, the
There's
one
a
linked in the
little
tweet?
snippet right there.
Right here? Boom.
Oh, no. This is, boom, right there. Exactly.
This thing right here, this npm create.
Yep, grab that.
All right, I can do that. And then do we do it outside the directory we want to do, or do you do it inside the directory?
Great question. Outside.
Okay.
There's a way to do both, but outside is perfect.
Is it npm or npx?
npm create and npx are basically the same thing. This does like a special, like it maps Astro to this create Astro package. It's one of those weird, much like co-tweeting. They just kind of shipped a feature.
Okay.
And people now use it.
Hey, that's my name.
Yeah, we got this little Houston bot.
Okay, I like it. Where
Houston's
would you
our
like
little
to?
avatar.
Cosmic Conjunction. That's a very beautiful name. What should we name? Let's name it Cosmic Conjunction. Let's go with that one.
Boom.
Let's see. How would you like to set up your? Let's see. A few best practices. What should we do? How about a few best
that's what we're
practices?
building? I think that's where we should start here. Yeah, the personal website is a really cool starter kit, but it's opinionated, right? It's going to give you blog posts and all these things.
Yeah, I don't need all that.
Yeah.
All right. Would you like to install? Yeah. Let's install.
Let's do it.
This is a nice
so what
experience.
this is doing, this is basically setting up. It's cloning the repo essentially into that directory. It's running npm install, doing a bunch of things so that you can basically jump right into it, press npm start, and you're good to go.
Okay. How do
you
I
use npm?
press?
Because there's also yarn and.
I
npm
normally
and
use
all
yarn
those
just
things.
because it feels faster whenever I have to install stuff, but I also just don't care enough if someone uses npm.
Yeah.
It's just
Perfect.
some people like their cucumbers pickled. Me. I'll eat whatever.
Oh man. So we were having this debate on the team if there should be music when that thing is installing. Just npm always takes forever.
Oof.
Oh, this is for you. This is perfect. Yeah. So something to kind of touch on right there. Astro is TypeScript, like essentially whatever above by default is, like it's enforced.
Good.
We have this .astro syntax, which you'll see in a second, and it's basically always TypeScript. Now, that prompt that you just said strict is like perfect for you. Like, TypeScript, you should get the kind of type checking you need. If a user doesn't feel comfortable with TypeScript, we basically say then just use the relaxed settings, and you won't even notice it because it's not a TS file, it's a .astro file.
Okay.
And
Ooh,
TypeScript is
interesting. I
basically
wonder
all add-on.
does Vim have the Astro coloring, and have you made all those things?
Oh, yeah.
Tree sitter. Have you done
know.
tree sitter? Have you done LSP? Because
You're going to have to be the astronaut here and explore that. I don't use Vim, so I don't know. But I know we have them. I just don't know how to set them up.
All right, well, TS install Astro. It's already installed. You're
Hell
lucky,
yeah.
tough guy. Let's see.
Hell
Hold, let me
yeah.
just make sure we have this Astro LSP NeoVim. Let me just make sure that this thing exists.
Oh my god, your chat is turning against me. I don't use Vim.
I know you
I'm a
really
VS
you goofed that one up. I'll tell you that much.
I'm a
Okay.
VS Code casual. I know.
Dude, just a disgusting VS Code casual. Here, let me just get this thing really set up really quickly. So I'm just going to install this. For those that don't know, language server effectively is there is a process that runs that is something that tries to understand your code, and then your editor. Your editor has a client in which spawns out one of these servers and then communicates it via, I think, JSON, if I'm not mistaken. And so now I've installed the language server, which means that now all I need to do is just tell my server, hey, just open it up and just launch it with the defaults. So let's go back in here, do this, LSP. So now you're probably using something like, what is it? I think it's VS Code. And that usually allows you to not have to do all this. But Vim, you're kind of in the driver's seat. You know what I mean?
Right, because it's better, right?
It is better in my personal opinion. But that's just me, All right, there we go. Let's do that. Let's quit Vim. Let's open it back up. So hopefully we're now in a good place, and I can now get autocomplete with Astro. Awesome. I'm going to move this over to tab 1, sorry, because I keep just dousing everybody with this cat girl here. Let me also grab the Astro build here. Where'd your Astro build go? There it is. I'm going to grab that, pull that thing out, and throw that on number 2. And say, hi, chat. All right. So we have everything up and running. We're good to go. What's the first thing I do? Do I run something? How do I see the defaults?
Yeah, so npm start is the command. You can kind of go into just run it. Just do it.
Doing it.
Good stuff.
Localhost
so
3000.
Server. Exactly.
Look at that.
Boom.
Oh, look at that niceness. All right, this is looking good.
This is like every other Hello World page. It's got your kind of intro. It's got a little like code challenge if you're just looking for a next step, and then a couple cards.
Okay, I do like the documentation. I do like that you kind of put these things right in front and center. Makes it a little bit easier to get to it if I needed to.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's a nice little touch.
So how do we get started? What are we building today? Do we have any ideas here?
So my go-to is just stealing something that Theo's built, which is his roundest comparison app, and just literally just stealing that and doing whatever we want. We can also go build a website if there's something that you've been like dying to build a website for, like your stream or anything about your stream. We can do anything.
No, I don't have anything I want to build as of right now. So let's start off with this so-called roundest business. I don't even know what that is.
It's I don't think anyone does. I don't know the backstory of it, but
okay.
Go into roundest.t3. I'll have to find the tweet. I literally always just search Google for this.
All right, I did roundest T3. Roundest Pokemon?
Yeah, roundest.t3.gg.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
And this just you get to vote, which is rounder.
Yeah, I don't know. Theo's.
Oh, I lost you there for a second. You want to say that again about Theo?
Theo's a crazy cat.
That's it? That's all we got after that? I was hoping it was going to be something real spicy.
I thought you were going to bleep me.
Okay,
no,
1, 2, 3, say it.
Theo's
Oh, it doesn't bleep you. Dang it. You're a separate audio track, so you would just say it. All right, so now that we got done with that thing, okay, so we have this Pokemon, so this is what we're going to create. How did he get all these images? Or I guess, how do we do this?
Yeah, so let's take one step back and just look at the Astro code base. We'll get a little comfortable with it, and then we'll just like literally rip his code base without his permission. Don't tell him.
Okay, deal.
So in your source directory, you have a couple things. This is supposed to feel a lot like Next.js or all these file-based routing systems. Pages is probably the most interesting one to play around with here. So you have a single file here, and it's just an Astro component. We do file-based routing, so index.astro is basically going to create the homepage, /index route.
Okay.
And foo.astro would create /foo, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
This is Astro syntax, so it should feel a little bit like JSX. It has like the ability to kind of put expressions and like map over an array right in this template. It should also feel a bit like Svelte or Vue, where like you kind of have this like code section and then the HTML template.
Mm-hmm.
It's got style support inline, so you kind of got all this cool. We basically just took all of our favorite things from all these other frameworks, brought them all together. But the most important thing is that this runs on the server. So our whole Zero.js by default is really about like moving more logic into this layer where it's only ever server rendered. So the template actually gets to be much simpler. We don't have to worry about reactivity and like all the complicated front end bits. We can just like code like we're in PHP, like just give me HTML.
Okay. But that's where I learned how to code was PHP. So this should be
too.
This should be it.
In the private chat, I sent you this is the meme that I really love because it's like just literally like this is how we feel about.
Can I open it up on stream? Do I have permission?
Yeah, go for it. It's a tweet. It's a link to a tweet, but
it hasn't updated. Nice job, website. Let me refresh it.
Oh no, this is in the ping chat.
Oh, the ping chat. Can you hit it to me via Twitter?
Yeah, of course. Please hold. I see the like 8 code tweets we tried before the one. There you go.
Oh yes, this is a good one.
This is very intentional.
I will like it and retweet it now. This is great.
Nice. Yeah, this is like PHP is absolutely something that I like. It's my North Star. It's been like for the last year, what we're trying to kind of recreate is that feeling of mixing HTML templating with a modern feeling coding platform.
Okay. Interesting, because people, they tend to make fun of PHP, but you're actually using it as the North Star.
Yeah. Tanner Lindsay, I think, was the one who was also tweeting about this. Like, this is our North Star.
Okay.
So I think this is catching on more and more now. This has been our take for a while, but we haven't talked about it publicly because it's like you basically just get banished to the realm of
I have no
server
problem
coding.
getting banished, so I will say it. If you need me to say it, I'll be
Perfect.
like, PHP is the North Star of all
I mean,
true JavaScript devs.
PHP had an email function inside. You could just send an email from the
know.
language. It was PHP was the best.
They did some things correct. All right, hold on.
So
I
yeah,
gotta take
that's
1
our
second.
North Star.
I gotta take 1 second and say some thank yous. Apparently, we got rated. Adam, thank you for that rating. Adam.dev. I appreciate it. PHP makes more money than like anything on the internet. Yeah, PHP is the #1. I do agree with that. Thank you, Kelney, for the resubscription. Okay, good. Just reuse. I already did that. Quap, I'll refund you. And the Lazy Snipe, welcome back. And then I also think Ryan Winchester did a voice-to-chat dictation. I didn't listen to it, but I'm sure it's great. I'm positive it's amazing. All right. All right, so let's get back into this. So we have this. Let me do one last thing because I don't like what I've done here. I had this really nice thing going on, Rose Pine. All right, I had this whole. There we go. The background was actually set up to work with this, right? It has the same color scheme. It was supposed to be beautiful. There we go. We're back in. Ken Wheeler did call that previous color scheme an old Buick, which does hurt me a little bit.
Yeah, it's like when you go to find that like syntax highlighter, and it's just like there are 20 themes here, and I don't think any of these are like actually good.
Yep.
Like they're just like white text on black background, and that's all you get.
Yeah, I don't get a lot of coloring when it comes to this. That must be a tree sitter problem. It must be something. I don't know what's happening, but that doesn't matter. That's tree sitter's fault, not yours. Don't worry about it.
All good. So yeah, think of this as HTML with components. That's like essentially what our templating language is.
Okay, so now,
but not web components.
So now we're gonna take this and we're gonna drive towards this. Is that the plan? Yeah. Are we gonna delete it? Are we gonna handcraft this ourselves? Can we at least try to handcraft something like this? Or a little bit of it before we just copy pasta over from E3s?
We can go artisanal HTML on this one.
I love artisanal HTML. That's my favorite.
In that case, I'd say just delete the whole thing. Like get rid of layout, get rid of main. Let's go full new thing here.
There we go. And do I need to keep the styles or should I kill the styles?
Let's kill it. Or maybe empty it out and then we can just start because we'll probably need some styles. So we'll just get right back there.
All right, there we go.
Awesome. Do you use like Tailwind or like just again artisanal?
Well, let's just do all handcrafted because I don't know Tailwind enough, but it's something that I accidentally created Tailwind when I was younger, back when CSS really sucked. Right? It was just like round of corners 1, round of corners 3, round of corners 4. Right? Like it had you just programmed in all the names. That's what I heard Tailwind is effectively just named styles, and then there's some level of programmaticness to it, so you can define them yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, sounds like someone who used CSS before CSS had all the fancy features.
You nailed it.
Okay.
You nailed it. I would say like we can choose what we're comparing here. So if you're going to create a title, like maybe like chat has some ideas. Like we don't have to do Pokemon again. That's a Theo thing. I've done Owen Wilson comparisons. There's an Owen Wilson API. We basically just need a good API to pull from.
Okay. Let's see. We could, it's something we could do, which I don't think would be very hard, which I can fill in later. We can just grab a couple names right away. We could do something from Stream, and we could just say who is cooler, and we could just display their name.
Perfect.
You like that?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do I do?
Oh, sure. Sorry. Go back to the code then.
Well, what do I do?
I don't know. Help. Go in. Yeah. Let's create your title. Let's create like basically the kind of like basic setup of this page. We'll keep it pretty basic on the HTML side. So like an H1 title, it's a good way to start. Get this thing like just.
All right. So I just like raw dog these titles right in here.
So this is HTML. So this is like pure, again, we're going artisanal. So this is why it's fun to copy paste, is because it literally like view source, select, paste. There's no like JSX foolishness you need to do. You can literally just grab stuff from view source.
Let's see. Who has the best name? There we go. Right? Is that what you do?
Perfect. You got it.
Okay.
And then I create like 2 blocks on the page. So we can use like a grid layout. You can use just divs if that feels most comfortable. Yeah.
Can I just div everything? Normally I just div all the things. Right? We can flex this, right, at some point. But for now, let's just keep the styling pretty minimal. We don't care if it looks good. It's the experience that I'm trying to get here.
Exactly. It's the glory of chat.
Yeah.
Having the best name.
Then
cool.
All right.
Let's create some like just default. So the cool thing about this, again, all server rendered, that like dash, that's essentially what we call like this component script. That's where you can run like data fetching, create variables, and then in the template you can
Oh.
reference those.
Interesting. So
So
can I
up
do
there-
something like import FS from FS?
Yep.
And then I can do
This is
something like
full
it's just
TypeScript.
oh, it is. Okay, so I could literally go data equals fs.read file. Here, let's do one of these. Paste it in here. Go fss. Oh, I don't even have it on here. G, there we go. And go read file sync path join dir name back Twitch names. JSON. How does that sound? There's JSON. There we go.
Let's
So
see if it
I
works.
could do that. ToString, do one of those, end it with one of those, and JSON.parse. There we go. So I can just do that.
So I'm going to give you one like improvement on this, just for anyone watching who's looking like to copy paste this. But this should work. This is definitely going to work in depth.
Okay. It looks like I'm missing a couple things, so I should go what? Yarn add, give them the D types node.
Yep. That should be. Yep. There you go.
You agreed to giving them the D. Now I don't know about
Ah,
that,
see,
Mister.
this is what I'm talking about.
You're all like, I don't want to. I want to be family friendly. And look at you. You're already degenerate at this point.
You got me.
I
You
got him. Got him good. Hey, do you know what the difference between jam and jelly is?
No, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That is absolutely. I saw some of your tweets. Like, I can't interact with this. There's nothing I can do with this that will feel natural to me.
It never feels natural to get jellied on. All right, here we go. Let's see.
Your chat's making fun of you for using npm and yarn right now. It should be fine. You just now have both lock files, but
Okay, so we're getting some sort of errors going on here. My guess is it because I did yarn with npm? Is that
no? You know what? I think try node : fs. I know that's a new thing that everyone's working on. Node and that. Any better?
okay? No, I mean it like is literally auto completing for me. It's like, oh yeah, it's right there.
I've never seen this before, so I don't know.
Okay, let's just pretend like this isn't a problem, because if we go here, it does look like it's actually still building, I assume. Okay, so this must be. We'll just call this a Vim problem, not a your problem.
We're gonna get rid of this in a second, so no worries there.
Okay, well let's get rid of it now then. Let's make this into something real.
Well, I want to see it working. I want to get that Twitch names.json.
All right, so I'll just do that. I'll jump back twice and go Twitch names.json and go. Let's see. Names. Oh yeah, we gotta do that, huh? And let's just add in Beastco, Nightshade, dude. There we go. We have two of them in there. Oh, we'll do one more. Lithium and Pick. There we go. We got a whole name of
It
them.
feels like a rap group. I feel like this is like you
It
could
is.
literally start a band.
This is pretty much that. Gosh, what is it? There's a never mind. Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. All right, there we go. We have this nice thing. And there we go. We got those both on there. Awesome. All right, so we have that. We have Twitch names.json right here. Everything's beautiful. So what happens now?
So what I would do is just throw that data in the template. So we use JSX like template strings, curly bracket, and then I guess you want to like JSON ToString just to make sure it's all nice and good.
JSON ToString. What kind of rookie are we talking about here? All right, so this would be it. That's all I got to do?
Yeah, this will look gross, but this should get your data on the page. That's the goal here.
Dir name is not defined. Ooh.
Okay. We are gonna have to get rid of this. Okay. So I was hoping this would just run, but this is one of the things that we try and do, which is not be too tied to Node. We try and do this in a way where it's like basically we're not like you might want to deploy this to Cloudflare, to any edge runtime or anywhere that doesn't have Node support. So we try and keep you away from these things.
I see what you're saying. Cosmic conjunction. There we go. So just pretending to be able to do that. There we go. Who has the best name? Yeah. There it is. Wow. Hey, that was pretty neat. And when we did all that, let's go to. Oh, this is Firefox. I actually have no idea how to use developer tools for Firefox. So I'm just gonna jump in here and go localhost, and just do it over here in light themed land, because that just seems like it works better.
Yeah, you gotta update that browser. I see that red update.
I know. Okay, so we have all this. This is exactly what we wrote, so it's not like any surprises happened here. Our head, I'm not exactly sure how that got filled in, but it did. That's pretty exciting. Yeah. And then our source code, or let's go over to our network. I want to see how well that did.
So this is the dev server, so there'll be some scripts, but like all of this is just Astro dev stuff. Like if you built this right now, it would just ship 0.js, loads instantly. I mean, obviously there's no styling. This is pretty basic, but
Okay.
the idea is this like idea of only adding JS when you need to. So as your site ramps up in complexity, you're still not like just paying this cost of more and more and more and more.
Okay.
It's a baseline that we're really happy with.
And even this is still like in the JavaScript world, this is a relatively small amount of JavaScript going on right here.
Yeah,
So
like
even your
compare
dev
this to a
server
Hello
is
World, which is like 80 kilobytes, 100 kilobytes just for the baseline. Like we're already in a good place here.
okay. I like this. Very cool. Very, very cool.
The one improvement I was going to say is we support just like importing JSON as if it's a module. So
Oh.
instance of reading the file, you can just do import file, basically like import from ... Can
I go like this? Let's see. Or do I go like this? Do I go star as a JSON?
I think it's the default. Let's try, but yeah, let's get the ... and it'll give you some nice little, there you go.
All right.
So
Yes, that
that's
does.
your data. So just call it data. I don't think you need the star.
All right. That does feel nice. JSON. I get it all in there. Is everything? Let's see. Data. Oh, there we go. That's it.
There we go. So right, so this now you're like no longer like node specific anymore. You could deploy this to a Cloudflare worker at the edge, and it'll all run
Okay.
all fine and dandy.
Okay, is Astro's main goal to be more of these Lambda function worker type deals where it's just like it kind of exists in a vacuum, or is it meant to be more of a stateful or long running server? Or
We
both?
kind of leave that up to you. Like we are as pluggable. So every different place you might want to deploy to, we want to have an adapter. So all those edge runtimes, Vercel, Netlify, a node server if you just want to run that yourself, Deno. The idea is that you get to pick, and we're just going to be as agnostic as possible. So that's why that would have, like, if you kept that node thing in and shipped that to a node server, it all would have been fine. But
Interesting.
we try and say, like, keep as agnostic because you never know. You might want to switch this in or out in the future.
Okay. That's an interesting kind of design decision because, yeah, there's really nothing that supports much Deno, and I know that Deno is very unique in the sense that its module system and everything is much different than Node, and so I'm curious how that all works. But we can move on from there, not to get too bogged down in that.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things where we're just going to give you that freedom, and it's up to you to use it well or poorly.
Okay, I do want to take this to the limits if possible. Do we keep on going from here and add some interactivity, or do we want to quote unquote launch the site?
Ooh, I'll
Like-
leave that up to you. Like some people, they really love to just see something built and deployed. So if you like, let's just get a URL that other people can see. I'd say that should be fine. And then if you set this up with like Vercel or Netlify, you'll get basically like on push, it'll rebuild, redeploy.
Oh, I was gonna set it up on Linode. I was gonna go full on little self-hosted.
Oh, you're
little
such a
node.
back-end dev. All right, that sounds good too.
Okay, but let's first start. Let's add a little bit of interactivity because I do think that part is pretty interesting. Because how does it ship the JavaScript? What makes something interactive? How do we do all this? Because I get how to build HTML, but I don't know how to make this into something.
Totally. So, what's your favorite? Do you have a favorite front-end framework? React, Svelte, Vue?
No. I'm willing to go vanilla on this if you want to, or we can do React or whatever.
Let's do React because I think it'll show off this cool feature that most people kind of come to Astro for, which is the idea of taking a React component and then putting it on the page here.
Okay, so how let's build the React component first. Do I have to install React?
Yeah. So what you're going to want to do actually is, but before you do that command, Astro gives you this integration system that basically, because we need to be so pluggable, you can basically just run an Astro command and it'll do all the kind of boilerplate setup for you.
Okay.
It's a yarn Astro, because we give you an Astro command in your project, add, and just run it with no other argument, just add, just run that.
Okay, and then it'll tell you all the things. Oh, nice.
All the things.
Okay, so that means we can do yarn, Astro, add, and I can go React.
Yep.
All right, and I do want to continue. Beautiful, and it even gives me all the right things, because that was actually the big next thing I was going to ask is what are all the React things I need to do?
Yeah.
Let's see, this will make the following changes to your config file. Oh, nice, it gives you a nice little view, a little diff in here. That's very beautiful. Sure, let's go. Let's do it.
There you go.
All right, so we have that now. We now have React. So how do I make a React component in here? Where do I build my files at? Where's the canonical way?
So this is a cool migration story for Astro, which is like you can take the React components from any other project you've worked on. And as long as you haven't done like specific things to that framework, you can pull them right into Astro and they'll just run. Like You can just literally copy paste. So in our world, it's a components directory. You can just throw .jsx files in there or .tsx if you're a TypeScript user.
Okay.
You can create like, let's just put it all in one component for now. We could call it like game.jsx or something.
Do I do TSX or JSX?
Oh, you like TypeScript, right?
Yeah, I prefer TypeScript over
Let's do TSX.
over JavaScript. All right, so there we go.
Yeah.
So do I do a const game? Is that what the cool kids do? Do I need to do props? How does this work?
Yeah, this should all work. Export const game will give you that as a component.
All right, and
be good to go.
let's just do something simple to begin with. Oh yeah, we don't do that anymore, right? You go return this thing, right? Is that what you do? Is that what the new people do?
I think so.
Hello world. Let's just start here and make sure this all works. There we go. So I have that, and now I'm here. So how do I get that in here? How do I get that goodness in me?
Get that goodness, import it like any other component. So import game from.
Since I did export, gotta do one of these.
And components.
All right, this is looking good. And then I can just go in this one. I can do a game, right?
Yep, exactly.
Game has no closing tag. Yes, it does. All right, that all seems to work. No breaks. And let's refresh this. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what did I do here? Let's kill this thing. Let's rerun it, because I might have done something weird. Installing dependencies while running, I assume, might...
Yeah, you quit, you restart. Yeah, that could have been something there.
All right, hello world. Look at that.
Look at that, easy. So you've just like crossed the threshold. Like you had your Astro component, and now we're saying, all right, we want some JavaScript. We want this to be interactive. Let's reach into the world. Like we're basically saying we're not going to be the best front-end framework. Like React's 8 years into that game. So we'll just let you use React when you need it. And hopefully you don't need it as much as you like would if you were just building all JS, all JavaScript.
Okay, something that potentially surprised me at least. Let's see. So the size of the local host has gone way up. Wait, no, never mind. It hasn't. There's no K there. It's all the same. That's what I thought. Okay, when I first looked at it, that's what I thought, but I thought it just went way up. I thought I misread it. I did misread my misread. So the size has not changed pretty much at all.
Yeah, which we'll get into. Like, it's kind of the thing you need to be careful for by not like making it easy. Like the default is 0JS, which means you need to basically opt in. So one of the biggest like things to watch out for is like, I'm clicking this button. Why doesn't it do anything? It's like, oh, we have to actually intentionally choose to hydrate this component to make it interactive. We can do that now. It's just hello world, but we could like basically play around with that now to get a feel for what that
well, that's really cool because we just did some React and the site has no JavaScript.
Yeah, still zero JavaScript when you go to build this thing and shove it in production.
All right, so we're in the game. What do we do to make this interactive?
So let's get the two names, maybe two divs, like name one, name two. We could make those props just to basically get that all set up.
Okay, let's go props. Do I just define it here? Name, string, name two, string. Can I just do that?
Yeah.
Okay, and then I can go, let's just do this. We'll do a little div, and let's yank that. Oopsies. Do one of that, and then do a props name. Oopsies. Did that, and hello. There we go. All right. Right, well, that should be enough to be able to get both names, correct?
Yep, that should work.
All right, so that means if I jumped back over here, went down to game, and went name equals, and then did JSON names 0, and name 2 equals JSON names. Oh, nice autocomplete, by the way. Very, very lovely there.
Erica has been working on that language server on our team for like almost a year now, and it really, I'm just always constantly surprised by how good it is.
All right, so what's going on here?
So it looks like product name does not exist. So it's saying those aren't the right props. Like, did you define TypeScript types for them, maybe?
I did put props on here with this. Export type game props equals, take this, paste in here. Because it's called, it's reading.
Yeah, no, that looks right.
Game props, make it look real nice. Oopsies. There we go. So that does look really nice. And then we go back here and let's just make sure, is this a language server problem?
Okay, there we go. So I can actually see that.
It does look, so it does look like it's not actually having a problem. It looks like it's building it just fine. There might be some sort of Vim disconnect going on here.
Yeah, God, I wish I... See, if I was a Vim user, I could be like, oh, yeah, of course, that's the language integration anomaly.
Yeah. That thing? I know that guy. I've met that person. I'm not that guy, pal.
I'm not sure what that is. I'm sorry. I'll definitely look into it after this, though.
Don't worry about it. Okay, so there we go. We actually have, look at this. We have some hellos, and we have Beast Co. All right, and again, no JavaScript. Kinda neat.
Zero JS.
Right.
JS.
I like that. Chat, do you like, do you like, oh yeah, I haven't restarted. We could try that. LSP restart. People are really losing faith in the Vim LSP again. You should try turning it on and off again. By the way, chat, how do you feel about all that you're seeing right now? I'm curious on what chat feels, right? Okay, we got a like. We got any plus ones? One if you like it, two if you hate it. I'll even pull up YouTube.
Yeah, make it a vote. My ego can handle this, sure.
Yeah, one for good, two for nah. We got some ones, some threes, and a 1.5 in there. Okay.
Nice.
That's pretty radical. A lot of ones. Of course, YouTube is really late to the game. As you can see, they haven't even heard that we're talking about this.
I am such a casual, just everything. I'm a YouTube. Like if I'm watching a live stream, if I'm watching you, it's on YouTube. I can admit that.
Filthy casual.
I know. It's I know.
It's disgusting. There we go. Look, YouTube's now joining in. Hey, we're cool too. Look, it's a bunch of ones. It's like, oh man, YouTube.
YouTube, I got you.
Yeah,
I'm here for you. I'm here to represent.
Oh, thanks, Leak Geek. All right. Anyways, okay, cool. So this is, I like this. I like what's happening. All right. And it looks like that language server business actually did do it, just restarting it.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Anyways, all right. So now that we've done that, it's still not interactive. How about this one? If I click, let's make a button that if I click it, it will randomly pick 2 names from my 4-name list.
Perfect.
All right. So do I go in here? What do we do to do that?
Yeah, like this is my default. Some people some people like to break it out into a ton of components first. I'm more of like, let's just have the game component for now, and then if we want to refactor it later, we can. So because that's the thing. Like we're in interactive world now, so everything you're saying, like click button, interactive. Let's just do it all in game world right now.
I agree. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go change this to this really quickly. Yeah. Right. So now that we have that, and we'll just take out those 2, do that, jump back over here, and just
right, because that's gonna be the thing that picks from them. Yeah, that's a good call.
There we go. All right, so we have that. Awesome. How do we make it interactive?
So you're thinking like starts with basically just a blank screen.
I would say it starts with 2 names already on there, and then I can just like reshuffle it. I can just press a button and it'll reshuffle it for me.
Okay. So in React world, you'd probably want to basically just maintain 2 like stateful like variables. I think state things.
Okay.
You can use the use state hook to basically create your name 1 and name 2.
Okay.
And then you can create like an on click that then shuffles those.
Set name, and there'll be names, and this will be just like a 2 thing, and this will be let's see, is it use state?
Smarter. Yeah, you could basically call this like shuffled names maybe. I don't know. You could like just keep it in 1.
Shuffle. Is that how you do that? How do you do this? Because set names usually you do something with it, right? Set name, so I can't have any logic in there. So here I'm just going to pick out props dot names 0, and I'll just pre-fill it with the basics, right? Even though that's not what we're doing, but we want this thing to be able to shuffle, right?
And you're going to want to flip those 2 in the tuple, like it's names colon set names. That's the order.
Oh, you're right. You're right. All right, there we go. We've swapped it, and I can create a thing called shuffle, right? And then how about this one takes in a game props? And it returns out a string. Does that sound good? Return out a function rand. We'll just take in a list, a string array, and it'll just pop out a string. Return math.floor, math.
Oh, you are flying. Okay, see, you're making a good case for Vimeo. Look at you go.
I know how to use an editor. Okay. Math.random times the list.length. And what else do we need? We need one more item, right? List that. Yeah, I like this. And then I'll just go rand props names twice. Is that about it? Oh, whoopsies. Everyone in chat right now is like, he doesn't know shit. Don't listen to him. All right, there we go. So that would be shuffle, right? So there we go. So we have this. So now how do I bring it all together now? Because I don't have the button to press that calls shuffle, that sets
let's
name.
just create the button so we have it all on the page. So button, like under the names, I guess, would be like the shuffle button.
Oh, yes. Let's do it there. That's a great idea. Button. Do I have... You have your Discord notifications on. Sir! Are you beeping me? Or am I beeping? Who's the beeper? Oh, maybe I have him on here. Does everyone here in the Discord memes of victim blaming? You're the victim here, and I'm going to blame you. All right, it was Fred. It was definitely Fred. Someone has some Discord noties going on, and I'm muted. I'm muted hard right now. All right, let me just make
Don't
sure.
look at me.
Oh.
Listen, you're the guy who has to refresh Twitter because he has so many notifications. I'm just a plebe.
Shut up. Damn it, Fred. Damn it. All right. All right, let's just get back into this. I'm sure no one will notice. Okay, so I have a button. Is it on click?
Yep. On click, you're going to want to... Well, let's see. You don't want to just call shuffle. You want to call set names.
Yeah, I'd go set names.
Shuffle.
Yep, that was the plan. I tend to do things inside out because I just forget things.
No worries.
All right, and then we'll do that and end it, and then go shuffle. Is that how you do a button?
Yep, that works.
And oh yeah, you're right. Props.names. Props.names is not a string. Why are you bullshitting me? All right.
So shuffle takes props directly, it looks like. So you could update the...
There we go. That's what I'm supposed to do, right? Oh, you're right. Yeah. I realized that there we go. I didn't make it a function, so it didn't actually do anything. Okay, so I've done that. And let's just for now go names. All right.
We can do this. Name 0 and names 1 should be the two names. I think that's all you need to do. Name 0.
Okay, I can do that. I was just gonna be lazy. Awesome. All right, so do I just refresh it? Is this all interactive now?
If you go into the browser, you'll see this. It's not gonna be interactive, but I can show click the shuffle button and oh no, this is so frustrating. What's wrong?
Dang it! How would I ever debug this, Fred?
So this is something that very much like the Astro intention is that you have to think about this a little bit, and you want this to be interactive. Obviously, you're clicking on it, so you need to choose. I want to interact. I want this game to be interactive. I want to go back to my index.astro page, the page itself, and basically tell Astro, hey, this isn't just HTML. This actually needs to be interactive.
Okay, so I'm going to go back here, and then I do something. Nice. Yep. I think I'm going to have to LSP restart this every single time.
Yeah, it looks like that's the issue here. I can track that down again after this.
You don't make concessions for us.
No, DevTools are so that's the thing. DevTools, I've only recently realized oh my god, this is the best.
Okay.
Client : is going to be your best friend here.
Okay, so what do I type? Where do I type it?
So right before the kind of / brace, type the word client, and you should get some autocomplete stuff.
So before, hold on, what
line?
Sorry,
no, that's more confusing. Add a prop called client. That's what I'm trying to say.
Client. Ooh, client. Look at all those. All right, so what do I choose?
So you've got load, which is instantly load this. This is essential. Idle, which is let the browser wait until it has a free moment and then load it. So you're not going to block any important rendering. Only is don't do any SSR. Media is make this responsive. So only on mobile devices load this thing. And then visible is that cool one where it's only when it becomes visible on the page should I actually hydrate load and pay that cost.
That's cool.
Since this is the main thing, I'd say this should be a client load. Doesn't really make sense if the game hasn't loaded. So I'd say as soon as possible.
Okay. Can I test something? Because I don't know what these all do. So let me try something. Yeah, so if I do only will only render it on the client, correct?
Yes, no SSR.
Okay, so I want to do that, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to jump back here, and I am going to do a set timeout, and I'm going to do this because I want to see this, right? And I'm going to do 2 seconds, and here I'm going to set names. Let's go here. Oopsies, not that one. And go set names with that thing. There we go. Do our default setting of those ones. I don't know why this thing is saying that we'll just ignore you for a second. And in here we're gonna do that. There we go. Oh, crap, it's not liking that, so I'll just go like that. All right, there we go. Do that and go like this. If names 0 equals this, then return div nothing to see here. Would that be fair?
I think so. Let's see what happens.
All right, so that would be if this is client side only, it should take 2 seconds before we see anything, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So I need a correct renderer. Oh, I have to add something in here, don't I?
This is the kind of funny thing about the way that we detect what kind of component it is by at server time.
Oh!
Analyze it. There you go. Nice.
Oh! Wow, that worked. All right, so that was cool. So now I want to see something else. I want to take this and say only, which means only on the server, correct?
I think that's what you just had.
Oh, whoopsies. Yes, I did have that. I need to do load, right? So this will actually load it. And so that means I just do this, or do I have to do an equal true here?
You got it. You only need the React one on client only. So you can think of no directive as server only. Like if you just didn't have client anything, that's server only. Client only is client only, and then everything else is going to do both. It's going to server render the HTML and then hydrate it at some point later.
Okay. And so I don't know what to expect from this. I don't know what to expect from this, right? I don't know what the server's going to do with that set timeout. I don't know how any of that stuff works because it all sounds very interesting.
Only one way to find out.
All right, so I'm going to jump over here. It probably got auto-loaded, so we're going to see the final state.
I will say real quick before you do anything, you don't need the equals true. It's just like a standalone directive. So it's only on that one that you need it.
Okay, so I'm going to go over here. We're probably going to see the final thing, but I want to refresh it right away. Ah! Okay, so I don't actually know how that happened.
So if we think through the life cycle of this, you did the server rendering, which basically saw empty and said nothing to see here. It saw the set timeout, but who cares?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just sending HTML. I'm not going to wait for this thing.
Yeah.
And then on the client, it loaded and then it reran. It hydrated. So then it started the timeout on your side.
Oh, so it shipped down the actual. It shipped down all the React stuff right here. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, and so the server only ran once. So how does the server handle that timeout? Does it actually still end up rendering on the server and running once more behind the scenes, or is that timeout taken away?
I think that's just orphaned now. Yeah, 100. I think it ends up running. I don't think React is alive anymore, so I don't think anything happens once that happens,
okay,
I guess if that makes sense.
Do we get to see logs? If I were to log from say the game, do I get to see it on the server?
Absolutely.
Console log hello from set timeout.
So console log is going to do whatever it does when it sees that. So on the server, it's going to come here, and then on the client, it's going to see it actually in the browser window.
Okay. Does this also this does not pipe in browser window stuff, right? This is actually just This is
if
only
it runs
server
an SSR.
stuff. Okay.
Exactly.
So there you go. So it does actually still end up running, but it does nothing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, this is we're doing a couple of things here that React would say well, that's not really a good it's okay for this demo. You probably shouldn't have a set timeout or set interval being triggered on render like that. Math.random is going to actually mess with Astro a little bit. Anytime the server is going to render something different from what the client might render on a rerun, you kind of want these pure components.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing some dark magic here, but it's fine for a demo like this.
Okay. So but if you were running a game, let's just say we wanted to run a 60-tick server or a 60-tick client, right, to run some sort of game. I would assume the set timeout, we'd have to be able to know that we're running on server versus on client, and we'd have to do some smarts that way.
Yep.
Okay, and so I'm just going down the rabbit hole here. So if I wanted to know if I'm on server or on client, what do I put in here to know that?
I'm gonna hijack what you're asking and turn it into a nice little plug for our docs. Awesome docs, awesome team of people working on that. Can't just speak highly enough of that. If you go to docs.astro.build.
All right, let's do that. Docs.astro.build. Hey, thank you, YG. I appreciate that. All right.
And you should be able to search for mode is kind of the word for this. You could search for SSR. And if you go up to search in the top right, try to search for SSR mode.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, maybe this will do it too.
Let's go. Oh, there's no mode. So it's just SSR, enabling SSR in your project, how to deploy, adding an adapter. Let's just
these aren't very good. What you're going to want to search for is it's import.meta.env. That's the thing you're going to need. So
I've seen that. Import meta.
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen this thing. Okay, so there's this whole environment thing that does exist, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so meta SSR can be used to know when you're rendering on the server. Okay, so when you're in SSR, this is true. This environment variable exists. Okay. All right. Hey, I like this. Okay, so that means if I were to do that, I'd go something along the lines of meta. All right, what do I need to import? I need to import something. What was it? It was. Oh, it's just right there.
Hey, I think you can literally steal that line of code.
Okay, well, I want to write it because I want to feel it out. Import met. Okay, good, because I wanted to see that. env SSR. Okay. If not that, then push that into there, right?
Yep, that should work.
All right. So that means if I do that, and I go to here, I should still see it go bloop, bloop. But on the server, we don't see
You got
anything.
nothing.
There we go. We did it. All right. That's cool. That's really cool. I like this. I like it.
Yeah, the hope is that you don't have to reach for that too often. But yeah, like anytime there's like something that happens on the server, but you really don't want to, like, again, we try and move as much logic into the Astro components. When it's like server logic, it should happen there. So like there's async await, there's like data fetching, there's like native fetch, there's all this cool stuff in the Astro component that we try and like entice you to like, no, do more work on the server. It's really fun here.
Okay. Okay.
But then when you need it, that's obviously a fallback.
Okay. I like this. Okay, this is cool. This is very, very cool. All right, so now that we've done this, we actually have ourselves a small amount. We know how to make it interactive. We know how to do everything. If I were to set up a server, let's just do something right now. Let's just do it. Let's just go to linode.com.
Yeah, let's deploy this thing.
Because, that's always like the thing that people kind of skip over is that, hold on. We got to make this secret time, people. There we go. You're not allowed to see what I'm saying. No one knows my username.
Yeah, I'll go back to it. I don't even want to look.
Yeah. All right, big boobs.
Looks like you're starting a cult here. Like flames.
I like this. Let's have a cult. Nothing like a good old-fashioned cult. All right. So we can come back in now. You can see all my stuff. All right, so let's create a new little node here. I'll just create a little nano node. Actually, no, I think we already have one. We already have one that I'm not really using. Perfect. Let's just yank this bad boy. Linode me daddy. Wow. All right, so I do have this nice little thing. So let's SSH. I'm already in. I'm in. All right, so let's make, ooh, you know what we can do? Ooh, actually, how do I load this thing up? Do I have to do I need to push this up and then I need to get down it on the other side? Is there a Docker that I can just quickly Docker build and pipe it up there?
I don't think we have you can check. We definitely don't have an official Docker integration.
Okay, let's skip the Docker integration then. I don't want to be artisanally creating an Docker one. That's not a fun process.
So Astro add node is going to be the first thing here, which is going to basically tell, I mean, do you want to, I think you're saying that you want this to actually run a server, because just kind of a little bit, the default is we actually do a static build by default. So literally HTML files, JavaScript, CSS. All
right, so hold on, I'm just going to commit. Let's see. I'm just going to do a little initial commit. All right, so I'm just going to push this. I don't even have a remote. Let's go like this. I'm just going to do a quick little GitHub. I have no problem creating crappy new repository. Astro lube. Let's call it that. Does that sound good? Does that
sounds
fits
great.
Your style, right? That's about right.
Great.
That's about par for the course.
That's definitely something that's what I would call it. Actually.
Yep,
So,
I thought so. Remote, add origin. Let's do that. Git push origin master. Get it all up there. Bop, 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 bing. All right. So we have everything up there. We've saved the state. Now I'm like, all right, I'm ready to deploy this thing. And you're saying I could just build this and then just copy some files up there?
Yeah, if running a node server is what feels most familiar and natural to you, I'd say that's what we should go for here.
All right,
so
then I'm ready because this thing I already have Node.
Awesome.
No, I don't have Node. Okay, so it turns out I don't actually have Node. Apt install Node. Hold on, give it a second. Oh, I thought it was Node. It's something like that. Is it Node.js? Yes. See, I'm smart. I would have eventually got it.
Yeah.
Hold on, give me just 1 second. npm ign apt install npm. We're gonna get there. Oh yeah, I forgot npm. Just like real life npm, its dependencies are insane. I installed Node in 30 megs, npm in 500.
I don't know. Have you ever heard of FNM or NVM? There's these node management tools which I really like.
That's what I was gonna do right there. But I can't install the node. Normally I use N to install it. Normally I also don't have any sort of node environment running here. So I go npm.
Oh, here, wait. I gotta post this in your chat. There's N but built in Rust, so you just literally curl something and it's on your machine.
So we get the blazingly fast nature of Rust to download a pile of shit.
Exactly.
Okay.
You can slap so many versions of Node in this thing.
So many. There we go. I'm on 16.18. Is that good?
That's good. That's great.
All right. So so my server's primed and ready. We're even gonna make dir Astro me daddy. Perfect. There we go. That's for you, of course. Present working directory. Root this. Okay. So now that I have that up there, how do I build my website so everyone can play with it?
So if we're gonna use Git as the way to like
We don't have to use
move
Git.
between servers.
We don't even have to Git. I'm fine just building it and SCPing it up.
Oh, perfect. Awesome. Let's do that then.
Okay.
So the two things you need to do is add the node integration that's going to set you up to deploy the node.
That would
And
be
then-
yarn astro add.
I think it's just node.
Let's just make sure I understand. Let's see. We got Reacts, SSR adapters, node. Okay, so that's the one I want, correct?
That's the one.
Awesome. There we go.
Perfect.
I do like that little add menu because sometimes I forget the things I
Yeah.
may, or I don't even know what's available.
You'd be surprised. Like they all have like Svelte or Svelte.js, React or React.js. Like everyone has their like .js that people use.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right,
So
so we
you're good.
have it. Now what do we do?
So step 2 is actually build the site. So npm run, or I guess you're on yarn. So yarn build is I think all you need.
And this does a production owned. So do I go mode production?
No, I think this is something. Let me see here. I think this is happening inside of Astro. This actually should have been handled by Astro Add, but we might just have to do this.
I'm fine
ourselves
doing
here.
it
Go back into
manually.
your config. Go into your config file.
Which
your
config file?
Astro.config.js.
MJS?
Oh yeah, okay. This is a new kind of default that we require this. Let me. You know what? Let's jump back over to the docs page real quick.
Okay. Hey, I love a good docking.
Oh, God, no. You got me to agree to that one. Ah,
Got him.
damn it. Search for the node adapter, or just the word node should.
Let's go node. Okay, Astro node.
There's this idea of mode, which is basically just like, do I want this to be used as middleware so I can like integrate it into my own site and like add an API, or do I just want to be standalone? I think for this we just want standalone, really simple.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go up
So-
here and I even have interesting. They just have node right here, but they don't have that. And then okay, adapter. So they didn't just have no autocomplete, so it's just mode or oh yeah, there it is, and
Nice.
standalone. There we go.
There you
I saw middleware. Is malware an option?
go. Malware, yeah, it adds a cryptocurrency miner
Okay.
onto your server, pays me directly.
Okay, perfect. All right, so there we go. We have these two things done. So that means I should be able to go back here and erase this crap and just launch it. All right, that was fast, nice and smooth.
Yeah, you know what? JavaScript tooling gets a bad rap. Look at that, 1 second build.
Is actually 1.9 seconds to build. Oh, it was a 1 second build. Total
Oh, but
1.9
yeah, no,
seconds.
I
mean,
see what you mean. Okay,
We
never mind.
did build well over 50 lines of code. I would agree that we should be taking a couple seconds. You know,
That scales
handcrafting
linearly too.
artisanal code. All right.
You now have your dist folder. It's gonna have client code, server code. Just put that whole dist folder up on the server.
All right, I always forget how to do this properly, so let's find out. So I'm going to just do this. Nope. I don't have that thing still copy and pasted. So let's yank that thing. I'll paste that thing in there, and we don't need that. We need Astro me daddy. And so I'm going to copy dist. I think I have to do a -r if I'm not mistaken, over to here. I want to say I'm correct. Okay, well, I mean that was relatively straightforward. Okay, I still have that, so I'm going to move dist star to here, ls, boom, rm, rf, dist. I always forget if you need the slash, you don't need the slash. I never get that right.
I haven't used SCP in so long. This
I know.
Is just like,
This is old school deployment, okay? This
I
is
love it.
PHP, okay?
I
We're trying to do
know.
PHP here. All right, so we're here. We have it. We have our client. We have our server. What do I do?
so let's go back to the docs. I think you
Ooh.
literally just like run node and then the script we built because it's standalone.
All right, let's see. So there's obviously, this is middleware, standalone. All right, we just hit it
all
with
I
the
need.
entry.
Boom.
All right, I'm just going to copy pasta this. All right, let's see. Cannot find Astro Web API.
Ooh, that should have been bundled. Maybe npm install. No, but there's no package JSON.
Yeah,
Huh.
there's nothing here. So we must have missed something along the way.
Yeah,
let
this
me-
is odd.
Let me try copying that and just going over to the nice docs. It didn't show up.
I'm trying to think if you. Oh no.
Oh, I do probably need the SCP, the node modules, don't I?
I think so. They should have been bundled, but let's just do that just to be safe here.
Okay, Astro me daddy again. Wow. And let's go like this. Let's go node modules. Oh man, this is gonna take just a quick second.
Yeah, the idea. Oh, you know what it is? Because I think so many people use this on like Vercel or like a platform that looks at your package JSON and kind of installs those for you. Although I guess Vercel is functions. I don't know whether. Yeah, that's interesting.
I probably should have tarred this, huh?
um,
It's never too late to tar that. All right, hold on. RM RDF node modules. Let's do that. And I always forget how to compress folder tar. Everyone's gonna make fun of me in chat.
If you have npm installed, let's try one thing before you do that. I think it's just npm install Astro.js web API.
Okay, let's try that.
One package.
NPM,
I don't think, because we're not using much. I think it's just that one.
Do I do a little D? Do I give him the D? Yeah. Okay. Astro web API is not a registry.
Astro.js is our handle.
Okay, hold on. Let me just make sure that ls node modules Astro. We already have web API right here.
Oh, maybe just rerun it then. Even though that was an incomplete node modules, that's the one thing we need.
Okay, and so what do I rerun? I assume it's not the installation, because it should.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say in the server, just running npm install. So like flip over to the server you have in the cloud.
Okay, and then go into the server.
That one package I think is all you need.
No, I can't, because there is no package.json. Because remember, this isn't even a
that's
project.
fine. You can actually just run npm install that package name.
Really?
It'll do all the magic for you.
All right. Yeah, see, there's nothing here. So here, npm init, yes. Wait, what is happening here?
Yeah, well, that is something else.
All right, hold on. Cannot find module semver. Oh, yeah. npm is obviously struggling.
Yeah, maybe kill the node modules that was like half installed there.
I did do that. Which npm are we talking about?
Oh, jeez.
Hold on. Which node? Node v. Okay, we have a problem, folks. Find user type file grep npm. Do I have more than one npm? Oh gosh, it's can we do executable? I think we can do executable. Executable. Wow, there's a lot of things. Okay, there might be I wonder if we wow, really? These are all executables? One more thing. Let's see, max depth 3. So we do have a local bin. We do have this bin. So we might be having a little bit of a user bin npm version. Oh, wow. Okay, so now let's go user. I wonder if it's just we're having ourselves a bit of a problem. Version. Oh, it's a directory. Oh, really? Sorry, I don't know. Does chat, do you know what's going on? Yeah, uninstall node again. I know. This makes me feel good to know that Prime and Astro Overlord deal the same problems I face. Yeah. Install NVM. Yeah, let's try NVM. So let's just do NVM install. Apparently I don't know what's going on here. Where's that one script you execute from the internet? There we go. There's that one script. Always.
Never put it right at the top.
Always execute from the top. There we go. Appending. Do this. Export. Can I do NVM now? I found.
Probably do source, like whatever your bash. Yeah. Or just run what they just told you to run.
NVM install 18. Let's go with 18 so I know that there's a difference here. Blah, 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 blah. Sorry, this is the slow part.
It always is.
All right. And then NPM v. Boom. That's looking good. Okay, so now we're here. So let's go NPM init. Yes. NPM I. Oh, I don't have. NPM I. Oh, wow. Nothing? Okay. NPM I Astro.js web API. Did I get that correct?
Yep. That should work. So this shouldn't be needed. I'm still not sure why this is happening, but this should be the easy fix here that lets us keep going.
All right, and then I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go, where's that node? There's the node.
No need for dist.
Oh, you're right. I am the stupid one.
All good.
All right, so there are a bunch. Yeah, okay. So we're missing a bunch of modules. something didn't
Yeah.
quite get loaded, and I assume we don't want to spend our time doing.
No, we're going to go the nuclear option, which is npm install Astro. And I think all of these things will just be sub dependencies. Again, we have tests for this, so I know that this works in a world where Astro exists. And maybe our documentation just needs to be updated. Like, you need to install Astro along with it. I'm not sure. It should all be bundled. I'm surprised it's not.
It's okay. I'm going to forgive you this time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, but this will install Astro, all these dependencies that it's just like for some reason not bundling. Now they all live here on the server.
All right, so it still can't find send.
I spoke too soon. Last attempt here would be at astrojs/node, so make sure you have that same.
All right, here we go. I know I have it at AstroJS up. AstroJS node.
Yeah, for some reason it's not bundled. This would all be bundled with the server. I have no idea why.
All right. Boom. Cannot find React.
Get that React integration.
All right. So now what's that
We're
one?
so close.
Do I just go Astro React, or is there like a whole that will take care of all the Reacts, or what is this?
Yeah, because we're just trying to get the dependencies right now. It's already been built properly. For some reason, they didn't get bundled.
All right. Cannot find. Let's see. Here we go. First try. Ooh, but it is on one. It is on this, so this is a little worrisome. Are we going to actually get it? Can I set my host? What do I need to edit here? Because it should be 000, right? That's only.
Yeah, let's check that out. There should be an option for configuration.
Do I have RG? I don't. 127.0.0.1. Wow, how did I have that many? Let's grep server. Entry, there it is. Okay, so it is. Oh yeah, there's only one file. I could have just done that. Oh, Vim skills coming into use here.
Nice.
All right, so I'm just gonna go 0, and I'm gonna go 0.
Oh, nice. You know what? This is fun. I'm like taking notes on what we need to improve. The host is a like variable you can put in your Astro config, and that would be like essentially taking that and you can put it there. So
okay, so there we go.
Wherever you want to host it.
So that does work, which means that now finally we got to do the last part here. Copy this one. We're gonna go that 3,000. Oh my goodness! Look at that! It's been hosted. Boom! Shuffle it. Look at that! Look at that shuffling.
What a beautiful website.
Interesting. It's changing back. Oh, it's because it keeps hitting that set timeout. Look at that. That's why you don't do a set timeout.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at that set timeout. Boom. There we go. We did it. Gregorian font and all. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that anti-aliasing. And you thought I wasn't. All I know is I would crush the shit out of Nightshade, dude. You would. If we did a voting game, you'd win. Actually, so we actually got to see quite a bit here. This was like a full-on round of things to do.
Yeah, we tackled a lot. How'd
you feel about the server side launching, this raw dog in the server?
This is not how I normally do it, but I'm here to learn.
Okay, so what would be the ideal okay, so if we had to just manage our own server, I wanted to manage my own long-running server, what would be the ideal Astro approach? Because normally what I would do is probably have an entire Docker file dedicated to this, and then use, the Docker registry to pull it down and run it. Yeah,
we're completely agnostic to, like, at this point, it's kind of like hands-off for any other node server, so there's nothing really specific here. The idea is that you can use Docker. There's, I think, guides, tutorials, maybe even an official integration that does all that for you. So I'd recommend checking that out.
Okay, so hey, so now that we've done that, by the way, I swear, I think it's you. I still think it's you. I still think the beeping is you, not me.
Oh, it actually might be. It genuinely might be.
Because I thought I heard it through your mic. It sounded like it almost was reverberating off the walls.
Well, I was in the do not disturb mode, so I don't know. Yeah, Discord's dead. It's gone. It's killed.
It happens in every meeting. Oh my goodness, you're getting called out right now, Fred.
No.
All right. So let's move into a new part of this, which is just like an open Q&A. Some questions would you like to field some questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so the first question I thought was actually really, really good, which is Astro usable as a perfect web dev beginner?
Yeah, so
I don't know what a perfect web dev beginner is, but I assume this person has never typed a piece of code. They're perfectly a beginner.
You don't even need to be perfect. You can be a normal web dev beginner.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the things I'm most proud of with what we've built. Like, we took a while. Like, this is probably 16 months in development before we hit our V1. And that was all about, like, really, like, do we feel comfortable with this .astro syntax? And the reason I'm so happy with it is that it's just HTML. You can obviously do all this really cool, powerful stuff we've been doing, but like if you're just building a site and you're learning web dev for the first time, we're not going to throw you into like the TypeScript, JSX, React, file-based routing even too much. Like the idea is it's all just kind of like as simple as possible to start, and then you can ramp up the complexity as you need it.
Okay. Okay. We do have a pretty intense one. If I've used PHP before, am I still perfect?
I think so.
Because
I've used PHP
Astro
before,
supports
perfect,
PHP.
so
Official stance.
I always use that meme tweet. That's just what I always redirect people to.
Okay. All right. Do we? Let's get some more questions. By the way, what questions do you not want to answer before we go on? If someone has some spicy drama questions, you want to just not answer those ones?
I do want to answer parasocial fixes. Like they've been telling me, I've been trying to sneak it in because I saw them left a comment earlier.
This one, what's the deal with remix run thing?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Exactly. Okay. Yeah, that's what I meant. No, the idea that you can basically do like a bunch of cool stuff that we didn't even touch on in the Astro component. So async await, like all this stuff that like React is dealing with now with this like use hook.
Okay.
And like async components, but you need to be careful. Am I running on the client or the server? It's something I actually really like about Astro. I think it's really explicit when you're on the server versus the client. And when you're in the Astro component, you have all the cool server data fetching stuff because you're on the server. We're going to guarantee that's never touching the client. It's a lot more explicit than like, okay, I need to be really careful when a component runs, in what way, in what world. Like Astro components run on the server. It means you can do a bunch of really cool stuff in that script.
Okay. Kind of follow up on that one. This whole push towards server components and all this. I wrote Falcor for Netflix. I spent a great deal amount of time doing caching, specifically JavaScript caching, request deduping, request batching, the whole 9 yards, right? So I'm deeply familiar with. Even when they lightly gave an overview, I know of tons of issues that they're likely going to run into. How do you feel about this move towards the server? Server components and all that, and do you think that we're going to find ourselves having actually significantly like higher traffic or higher pressure on the servers simply due to all these requests being made that are all server and getting into some bad patterns perhaps?
Yeah, it's definitely a pendulum that seems to be swinging just constantly. Like I remember reading an old blog post from Gatsby where like they announced Gatsby V2 or something. They're like, Gatsby's fast because we do our work on the client. Like we do all our work on the client. And like 5 years later, 6 years later, that's like the exact opposite thinking, is that the server is going to be faster, more reliable. Streaming HTML is the answer. We definitely are in that camp. Like you just don't know what device your user's on. And yes, they're getting faster. The network's getting better, but like you're still, every line of JavaScript that you're shipping is another potential millisecond, tens, hundreds of milliseconds that's blocking your user from doing the thing your site exists for them to do. So our approach is that like, yeah, there's probably things if you're at scale to consider around costs, server costs certainly, but for most developers right now, like for Vercel and Netlify, they're a fixed cost. So as the actual person building the site, you don't really have to worry about that. I think it's more of a concern around like, yeah, Netflix scale. Obviously, you need to be considerate about these things, but if you're going by pure user experience, I think there's nothing that matches having the server do most of the work and then streaming the results down to the user.
Okay. Why is it named Astro?
I wish I had a good answer for this. It's just a cool name. We were picking names, and this name was the pickiest. That was it.
Okay. There was
the
a
space
group
thing
of
is cool,
people
though. We
that
definitely
all
all
voted
fanboy
on it.
space.
Everyone voted on it in Astro. Give us one of the runner-ups. What was the runner-up to Astro?
You know what was funny is that so the whole thing, like this whole thing we've been exploring today, is called island architecture, which is like take your components, instead of the whole thing being JavaScript, just isolate them to the things that are interactive. So that's island architecture. We didn't create that, but we definitely like put it kind of on the map in the last year. There were a lot of island related puns, like Isles, which actually ended up being a Vue project that uses the same architecture. Like Vista, I don't know. There's just like a lot of like, can we just do like islands? I don't know, like name a famous island. Like, oh, you think you like islands? Name 10. Like it was kind of that vibe.
Okay. All right. I don't understand this question, so you're just going to have to kind of field it yourself. Is there a plan to support Astro components in the tree of components rendered by a given framework/library? So, example, the user writes a React component that renders an Astro component without using slots.
Yeah, so right now, this whole, like, the Astro component chooses the React component. that's a very one-way street. Like the server Astro component is injecting an island of React interactivity, right? The problem is that like then, well, I think what this person's asking is, okay, can I then put an Astro component into that React component?
Mm-hmm.
Like this like inception of different ways that you can mix and match these powers. Right now, you have to use slots, which is basically you pass it to the component as like a child. Like, here you go, here's the HTML that this would have rendered. So you're not really like running an Astro component on the client. That's essentially, I think, what they're asking for.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we're limited by the fact that like the beauty and the like limitation is that it's all server side. So nesting Astro within another framework, you get into some wonky stuff. What you can do is you can nest other frameworks inside of other frameworks. So you can get really weird with like a solid JS sidebar that has like a view button that you grab from NPM and an emoji picker from React. Like you can do some wild kind of wonky stuff. That's kind of the power of it. But Astro is very much the server, which means it's the top of the tree.
Okay. By the way, chat did name 10 islands, just so you know. So it turns out they actually are an island expert.
Damn it. All right. I relinquished my crown. I'm no longer the CEO of HTML. I got to give it up.
All right. Is Astro reliable to make bigger apps with lots of modules? Does it keep the performance?
Yeah, we use Vite behind the scenes. So we are very much powered by Vite. If you've done any time with Vite, it's this idea of only really compiling and building what you need. So that on the dev server, it's literally like, I don't know, I did a lot of work with Webpack, and what Webpack would do would take your whole app at start time and build it all, even though you're just going to like load one page. So Vite's really fast. It's really good at scaling to large sites. And then obviously it's really great. We've been really happy with it. Markdown is the other thing which we didn't really touch on here. Having a really fast, reliable Markdown build pipeline for people who are writing blogs. Also super important to us. Also something we benchmark regularly. And yeah, we have 10, 50. I don't think anyone's broken 100K posts in production, but yeah, we've definitely bashed this thing against some pretty big scale.
All right, follow up. What are some places that are performance problems that you know about?
Not like that's the thing. Like we really care about scale, so I can't think of anything that like, oh yeah, just don't do this. I would say that just like as you build your site, we definitely are not just shipping everything to the client, so we're doing a little bit more thinking at the build step. Like we're bundling efficiently, we're making sure that your islands all get interactive. Nothing jumps out. There's no known performance issue at scale that I am aware of, other than just like we have our, it takes longer the more you add, and we're pretty happy with how slowly that kind of increases linearly, but it's obviously something to keep an eye on. I'm sure there's a number of files that would break Astro. I haven't seen it in production yet or heard anyone hit it.
Okay. Is there a static revalidation in Astro?
No, but stay tuned. Nate on the team is working on some really cool stuff around like mixing static rendering and like pre-rendering and actual server code.
Okay. Who's working on it?
Nate Moore is another one of the people who created Astro originally with me.
Mm-hmm.
He is working on an RFC, I think presenting it in our Discord today. So shout out to our Discord, astro.build/chat. We're going to be doing like an RFC call and walking through that a little bit. So definitely come by if you're interested in learning more.
All right. What do you feel about TurboPack? Is there any chance that TurboPack is going to defeat Vite and even have Astro use TurboPack?
I mean, we moved so we started on Snowpack, which is actually something that we built originally before Astro.
Yep.
Like Snowpack and Vite, early competitors in this battle, and then Evan just is awesome and did a good job. So we're like, all right, fine, we'll use Vite. You all win. We've done the transition before. It's a lot of work. I don't know how Next.js is doing this. It's going to take a long time for that tool to get stable. So we'll cautiously wait.
Okay. Are you in with them? Like, are you talking with Dr. Palmer? Do you have the ins? Are you kind of expressing your needs in this situation, or are you playing more of just like a wait and see, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't?
Yeah, definitely a wait and see. The closest I've gotten to that team is I was chatting with Rich Harris, who is now at Vercel, and we were chatting about it.
Okay.
I think SvelteKit, they did the same thing. They started on Snowpack too and moved to. It's a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of work when people finally decide to do that. And I know SvelteKit just is trying to get their V1 down. So I think we're all taking the wait and see approach.
Okay. What would the difference of using Astro or any other framework? Let's say the super popular React with SSR support and Vite. P.S. We need more frameworks. The ones currently available aren't enough to build web applications. Kappa face. I actually don't know what this question is. I should have read it beforehand because it sounds like what they just said was exactly what you're trying to do with
Well,
Astro.
like every good interview, I'm just going to pivot this into what I want to talk about, which
Okay.
is one thing that's really cool about Astro, which really surprised us, which is kind of along this line of like which framework to pick. Um, you were kind of trying to push us this direction, which I love. I definitely like noticed that. Like you don't really need a framework for a lot of stuff on the front end. So the fact that Astro, we give you your HTML, you give you your style tag. You can also just put a script tag on the page. And if you go to our own homepage, every time we've needed something interactive, it's been easy enough to just literally open up a script tag and write a little, like a couple lines of something, or create a web component literally in that script tag. And then you have the HTML that's actually using that web component. Like there's this like use the platform API thing that is like a lot of people chat about and talk up. But like for us, literally the fact that it's HTML means you literally can do anything HTML does, including just throwing a script on the page that makes some code interactive without even reaching for the 40, 60 kilobytes that React is going to put on your page.
All right. Well, let's. I want to do a little testing here. Oh yeah. Again. Let's jump over here. Let's go to the Astro page. Let's do an Astro listen in. Kill this thing. Bring up this. Let's find out how much networking you actually use when loading.
Our doc site does have components on it. The homepage is the one I was talking about that we've never had to yet.
I know, but still,
both of them are good for profiling. They're both great for this.
I'm looking at what we're talking mid 80, 90 kilobytes. So I don't know if I'm using H2 or H1. Are you worried about the effects of so many little files and a lot of non H2 support out there?
My understanding is H2 and even H3 now is kind of like we're basically building for an H2 environment for sure.
Okay. Okay.
And even looking ahead to H3. So yeah, we're definitely on the more like bundle smaller chunk side of things. But we constantly kind of revisit that and optimize behind the scenes.
Okay, it was 92K, by the way. All right, so let's go to AstroDocs. I'm actually curious because this is very, very lean. What front end framework does AstroDocs use? Do they use any? 28 kilobytes. That is it.
Yeah, that's awesome. You can see Preact, I think, is the big one. The problem on the doc side is we have that search, which comes from Algolia, which we don't have as much control over. So again, it's that kind of like we're not saying zero JS is the goal. Both of these sites have some JS, but the idea is that you only need to put them when you need them, and like you just have a lot more flexibility here. So our baseline is 0, which means we've added a couple of components, but we're not starting from 80. We're starting from 0. So
okay,
yeah, I'm pretty happy with that number.
Okay, it does look like at least the searching is actually a large portion of your guys' actual overall traffic.
Yeah, we just don't own that dependency. So it's, Algolia gives it to us for free. We're happy with it. But certainly that limits us in terms of being like 0 JS. But again, that's not our goal.
Look at that. You hit a lot of, as I type, you just racking up the kilobytes. For those that don't see it, there's the kilobyte right there. I was just really curious on what it all is. So we just used 10 times the size. So those that didn't see it, there we go. Oh, we got a lot of cache. Let's disable cache. Get the hell out of here, cache. There we go. 99K. I hit some cache. That's why it was so fantastic.
Yeah, and that's everything. That's not just JS. So if you go and filter by JS, you'll see the JS. You'll see the CSS.
I see some CSS. Oh, yeah. We see a nice little query right here. Okay. Very cool. That's very light. And so do you intentionally choose no JavaScript framework for the performance, the creaminess, the smoothness?
No, so bringing this full circle, it was more like, well, why would I go and get a front end framework when I can just literally write this in 3 lines of script? Like I know the basics of what I'm trying to do. This wasn't an application. Like we're not building like a dashboard in script tags. But for like the simple things, if you're building a content site, a homepage, a doc site, like you really don't need as much. So for us, it was more about the usability, like the DX of just opening up a script tag. I find that faster in a lot of cases than like creating a new file, creating a new React component, importing it back in, worrying about the props. You can still do all that, but sometimes a script tag, you just can't beat that.
Yeah, no, I do agree. This actually almost makes me want to create my own blog. Almost. I would personally never want to write down my thoughts. Record a 5-minute YouTube video where I scream is much more enjoyable for me. But it is actually. I'm literally thinking of how can I use this to build something, because I do like the fact that I can launch it myself. I know I can go there and I can manage my own server if I need to. It sounds like you said it plays well with Vercel, Netlify, all these other kind of cloud worker, Lambda function, whatever the hell you want to call it, Lambda function. But in the end, it sounds like I get to kind of choose.
Yeah,
and I like the idea of choice. It feels good.
we're trying to be a big tent. Like that's what I love about the HTML, like being the base layer, is that's very webby to me. That's like, go use your framework if you want. If a new one comes along, we'll support it. Like it's a pretty safe bet in terms of being really flexible to be what you want it to be.
All right. Someone is asking, what is this so-called couple lines example? So let's go back to ours and we could probably do this fairly quick because I don't think it's going to be that hard. So instead of because what we did here, if we look at our games, it's virtually no code, right? I want to have a button that when I click it, I reshuffle the names and redisplay it. How can we take this and move it over into something that is just a couple lines of code, right? So let's go here. Can we do that?
Yeah, let me. I'm just gonna show like literally. So our website is public. So I'm actually just gonna like really quickly while you were talking. I'm sorry. Find that like tweet card that is literally a Theo quote from. We just love it so much. Here we go. Let's find this thing. I'm literally searching for a script tag in my code base. That's hilarious. Where'd it go? Oh, I'm not gonna be able to find it. Dang. I swear I just sent this to somebody. Yeah, you can literally just, so you're not going to have the reactingness of this, but you'll have the script. And so you can use, query selector all. You can literally use a web component like class game extends HTML element, I think is there's all this cool stuff you can do when you're just in the script.
I'm just simply gonna go like this. ID equals foo. I'll look it up and I'll just set its text to this stuff.
Yeah, we can hack around. That's again the cool part about it.
So how would I get we have that server-side data, right? That is JSON. How do I get the JSON in here?
So this is a cool thing. This is actually going to no, you're right. You can't actually just so the script tag is actually going to be a bundled script that goes to production. So you can't just send a variable like that into the script, but you can do the import here. You can just move the import right down to the script, and it's going to make sure it gets included on the client side.
All right, so there we go. We have that. We'll just drop that thing. Names equals JSON dot name. Oh, we can just go like this. Const names equals. I know I do this every single time. Names, nice autocomplete. JSON dot names 1. There we go. Jump back here. Let's just grab that. Don't need anything else. Paste all that stuff in here. Let's take that. Jump back here. Ugh. Let's delete that. We don't even want that thing. We don't even want that thing around here. Do one of those. Let's have a names, which is a string. There we go. So we have these things. We'll call them props. Doesn't really matter. We have our 2 items. We have our names. We'll take that, and now all we need to do is go const l equals document dot
yes, select. Exactly.
What is it? Query selector foo. So this should, if I'm not mistaken, return an element. Awesome. If we go, I do like this. Okay, if not L, then we'll just go console.log. Oh,
don't you just feel the PHP energy just rushing through your veins?
I can feel it. It's amazing. Let's see. Set inner. Wait, isn't it set inner HTML? What is it? Inner HTML.
Inner HTML equals, yeah.
Yeah. All right, there we go. And we'll just return. Wait, I guess this is not a function we can't return. And let's go names dot JSON dot stringify. We'll just stringify these names, and we'll do
I still can't believe I called it JSON to string. Just what a.
It's okay.
That's gonna haunt me. I'm gonna wake up in 10 years in a sweat.
You should. It was pathetic, but I'll let it go. There we go. Button that. And so now I should also be able to take that.
I love that you're going full in on this.
Yeah, why not? All right, we'll call but. But.
See, we found it. That's exactly the intersection of our brands, I think, is that I find very funny.
that one? That's the one? How do I do a click button?
We found it. We found it right at the end.
Is it on click? Is that what I do?
I think. Oh god! See, this is the gift and the curse of.
I'm just gonna TS ignore all these bad boys. Oh! I'm just gonna do this. Forget you. There we go. Button.click. Console. Here, I'll just go like this.
And so while we're typing, I'll just shout this out. Like the importing of a JSON, like the actual fact that you're shipping or you're writing TypeScript in here, like that's kind of, I think, the beauty of what this is like we're giving you still like modern feeling tools. Like you're writing TypeScript but in a script tag that we're going to then bundle this. We're going to make sure this is like optimized. There's other scripts we'll include it with them. Like we're still giving you a really modern dev build, even if the but it's a script tag. It's still the kind of classic stuff.
All right, so I think I pretty much have this whole thing done, and I'll just go like this. I'll go shuffle, and that's going to return something.
Move button on click out of run. I think that'll keep defining it every time.
Oh, you're right. Good call. See, this is why you are the CEO of HTML, and I am not. And there we go. This is beautiful, and we can go like this just to make it even better. Oh, that thing shouldn't have been there. And just to make this more complete, put that up there. Look at all this. And so that way we only shuffle every now and then. It's names. I think I just got to pass in. No, not names. I got to pass in is just on. There we go. Right? Yep. And then we rerun. So that way the first time we render it, it's just this nice, beautiful little inner HTML. After that, it gets shuffled. Then we rerun it. All right. So there we go. So I believe I have everything interactive at this point. Everything looks good. Let's kill this just in case because I deleted a file. I never know how those things work. And so we've been exposed. Let's get exposed. Let's expose ourselves to this. And we have this wonderful button with no text. So let's go in here and go like this, expose, right?
I think what's happening also is that query selector does use the like hash symbol for IDs.
You're right. You're absolutely right. There we go. So if I do expose, as easy as it gets. Easy as it gets.
The whole thing is like, I'm always really careful because it's like I don't want us to feel like, oh, we're this like what, I have to write all my script tags. This sucks. I like other things. Like you have the freedom to do this if you want, and you have the freedom to use like we've done both of them here, and like it's totally up to you. They're both just as equally supported. Just this one has a lot less JavaScript that gets shipped.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. That was really easy, and that was very little JavaScript now. Now it's extremely little JavaScript. So if I wanted to do that, someone's saying 2005 vibes right here. Well, you may forget.
Totally.
For those that don't know, front-end masters, the reason why it's so creamy and so smooth, even though it is sending clearly a lot of data down, is because they don't use a front-end framework. I don't know if you know that, but everything they write is all pure vanilla.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, they use pure vanilla goodness. And so even with all this video and everything, we got 610Ks with all the stuff. It's gone up. It's pretty fast. It feels really, really good.
Yeah.
I like them a lot.
Yeah, this is like, we love just like, it's like we've got something for the like experts who want to get like the bleeding edge out of it. We got something for just beginners who want to try it. Like, yeah, it's something I'm really happy with. Blazing HTML, exactly.
Blazing. All right, one follow-up question. Does Astro, does it contain the word blazing or fast?
I'm just going to the docs. Let's see.
If it does not contain specifically blazingly fast, I will not make a oopsies. I'll not make a PR for you. Blazing. There is a description. Blazing fast. Okay, it does. This is good. I
bet this actually is inspired by you. I don't know who wrote this, but I absolutely bet that came from you.
Well, whoever did it, thank you. And actually, I do have one more quick question. So, right, Maple joined you guys?
Yeah.
All right, so how did that happen? How does somebody join, say, something like that? Because this is always, a lot of people really love to contribute to open source. They want to be a part of a team. They want to be able to do this, but it's very hard to get your foot in the door. So how did someone like Maple go about this, and how did you recognize the talent, the skill, the coconut oil goodness, and thus bring them on?
So I'll shout out something that we've been doing since, like I mentioned, 16, 18 months now. Like this project's been around for a while. And something we did early on was define an open governance model. So we're not like, you mentioned Astro technology company. It's a company that exists to support Astro. But like it is very different from the open source project, which has governance, contributors, maintainers, and like it's very much run like an open project. So in that way, we have both like a core team that has kind of contributed, gained experience, and kind of come into the project. We have about 12 core maintainers right now. And then some people are able to just kind of like jump through that into what we call this like residency program. So Maple joined through that. It's this awesome way to like, if someone wants to join and like get up to speed really quickly, it's like it's a way to basically like meld the world of like Maple joining the company with the idea of like actually contributing. So it's like a limited but still very open like role within the open governance model.
Yeah.
I'm a huge like open governance nerd, so that's why I'm giving you this like legal representation of our governance. But the point is, I think Theo introduced us, or he might have just reached out. Maple's awesome.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
only
Theo's
worked with
been
him
a
for
big
couple weeks, but
proponent
he's
of Maple.
awesome. Yeah, been a big fan. So if he's watching, shout out to Maple.
Right there. Boom. Yeah, you did miss you did miss the introduction. I was just the effective question was how does somebody how did Maple get involved? How does anyone get involved? What is the steps? Because obviously everybody everyone wants to be a part of something, right? Everybody wants to be able to say that they contributed to, or at least most people do. The idea of open source, I hear it all the time. What open source project should I commit to, right? And it's a question I can't answer because it's just like which one interests you is the answer to that question. And so obviously it's not easy, and it sounds like Maple drove some level of change here, and thus is now in a deeper, better role, if you will.
It's the funny thing about, I don't know, like, do you have any thoughts on Hacktoberfest? Have you done that before?
Oh, I mean, I clearly spammed the Vercel repo just recently, so I know all about being
just to get your shirt, right? You were just going for the shirt.
I actually didn't even get a shirt. They actually did. They actually ended up making a change that did say blazing in it, but they didn't let me make it. Right? It was like it's the end all of it all.
Peace
but
offering.
I know they just stabbed me with it. But the thing with the problem I have with Hacktoberfest is that it encourages non-meaningful changes. Right?
Yes.
And I don't want that.
I completely agree. I've always been a huge skeptic. I will say this is the first year where I've ever seen it done well, and it was done by our community. Our docs team actually got a ton of very high valuable like translations, different things. I would say docs is actually a really good place. I've only learned this through running Astro. Really good place for people to get involved. Like not just on our project, but like everyone needs better docs. Everyone like can kind of find something wrong when they try something out and like go make a PR to doc. You don't need to know the code base to do it. Mm-hmm. We've had a lot of people from our community of contributors come in through the docs community, and it's been awesome to see. So I'll give a huge shout out to them. They're doing a really kick-ass job. Otherwise, though, like open source projects, like we just kind of are looking for people to hang out. We have a Discord, we have a dev channel, like we're always in there. So anyone here watching can come by, come say hi. We try and do open governance meetings, so we talk through our RFCs in public. If anyone wants like a guided walkthrough of the code base, we've done a couple of those in the past. So we're definitely a pretty we play mini golf on Wednesdays sometimes publicly. Like there's a bunch of stuff going on in our Discord.
Okay, awesome. That's great to hear. Well, I think that we've achieved the goal, which was I now know something about React, or actually I still don't know anything about React. What am I saying? But I do actually know something about Astro, which was a very good experience. I'm very happy I got to see this. I really like the feel of having no opinion on the front-end framework. I like the ability that I can host it. It doesn't feel necessarily all that magic. Like I was able to change the port number, like I just kind of, or the host, it wasn't 127. I could just kind of go in there. I effectively know what's happening. It's a simple app that's running that's been probably generated such that every one of your pages is just a route in which gets auto over there, blah, 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 renders. It seems pretty straightforward. Like I could actually debug if something went wrong.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's everything that we were going for. That's really cool to hear you say that.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Fred, for joining. Everybody, if you don't know, Bang Fred in the chat. Bang Fred, there we go. Fred right here. This is a Twitter. He was really hoping to be over 10,000. Or, yeah, 10,000.
I think we can do it. I think we can do it right now.
It's only 73 away, people.
I think we can do it.
73 follows. For hours of entertainment?
Are you not entertained?
This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
How about this? I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving.
That's it. He's not leaving. This is what you guys get. Right. Until it happens. Refresh. Let's see. We're going to refresh, and it's going to go downwards. Holy cow. Okay, it is so close. Okay. Let's make the dream happen here, people. The dream actually has a chance of happening on stream. Let's make it happen on the stream. He's not even leaving. Apparently, you got the refresh. Oh, my goodness. It's only 6 left. This is actually so awesome.
I thought it was going
Let's go. Fred, you got it. You got that beautiful 10K. Let's go. That was actually super awesome. Thank you, everybody, for joining in on that, because that was sweet. That was like a cool moment.
Thank you.
Community, thanks for being an awesome community, because that really is a cool moment just to see everybody rally behind something. That was cool. I'm really stoked about that.
That's awesome. Hey, you're making change in the world. Look at that.
All right, hey,
just in time for Elon to, just make me pay $20 for all of
boom, check mark incoming. Let's go. Hold on, can you stick around for 1 second? I'm just gonna end the stream. Sure. Hey, thanks everybody for sticking around for this. I'm gonna jump over here to YouTube Live. I know I didn't really look at you guys. I'm sure you guys are great over here. Oops, there's front end masters link. Wrong link. But YouTube, Twitch is awesome. I don't know if you know that. The thing about YouTube is that they probably haven't even seen that you crossed 10K. They probably have no idea that you even crossed 10K yet.
Wow, is he using a script tag? Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
Oh, super cool. Anyways, they're very far behind. And so we're going to end the stream here. I'm going to say a couple quick thank yous. And then, Fred, I'd like to say my personal goodbyes. Thank you very much and all those nice things. So let me just jump back really quickly and go through this because I don't like to.
The community is awesome. Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate it.
There's some nice. There's some really nice.
Check out Astro. Build a cool site with it. Go to share it on Twitter. Share it in our Discord. We love the community that we're building around Astro. So thank you all. Seriously.
All right. So Haplo Eco, thank you very much for the 5 gifted subs. Lithium, gifting a month sub to EBN. Hey, nice. Our functional wizard, by the way, he uses Emacs and Light Theme. So if Astro doesn't work with Emacs, you've really messed up. Bitcode, thank you. Vakarasek, thank you again for the resubscription. Hype Train over or started. Barnold with the resubscription. I'm back. I'm in the Vim book club. Let's go. Hexy Ray, 7 months. Let's go. Caffeine Worm, Leet Geek. That Chris, I just rebuilt my portfolio site the other day with Astro. It was so seamless outside of a few minor GitHub page CSS issues. That's super cool. That's a W right there. You can practically quote that one, put it up there. Thank you very much. 23 months sub too, so he doesn't lie. 2 years. Nice. MSMPS, multi-subscriber, multi-producer subscriber. That's how I think of it in my head. Thank you for the 7 months. YGD Habby, thanks for the community subs, 5 of them. And then another 5 of them. Holy cow. That was crazy. All Press, resubscribed. Prime Goose, Prime, let's go. C17R, he's a robot. He's actually always in chat. It terrifies me. Random 4R, Zenflow, Menj Guerguero, 8 months. Appreciate that. This name, I don't even know how to say your name. You want to give an attempt on this one?
Me? No.
No? Okay. We don't know how to say your name. M102ROE2RO. Nope, don't got it. Moloch, thank you very much. Haplo Eco, that's 10 for the stream. Slow down, son. Okay? Slow it down. Anyways, thank you everybody for sticking around. We're going to say goodbye now. I really appreciate that. I'm going to just raid somebody randomly on Twitch. Let's jump onto Twitch. I kind of feel like today's a game day. Like I try to do this every now and then. It's either Kit Boga or like do something that's a little bit different than your standard one. We got the stock guy. We've rated him once. That was great. He's a pretty funny guy. He insults chat a lot. What do we got here? We got Vis. Vis is on. Vis is a great one. Doing Apex Legends. Yeah, let's just do... Togglebit. Oh, Toggle's on? Okay. Togglebit. Yeah, let's raid Togglebit. Raid Togglebit. We haven't raided Togglebit. Togglebit is a job or a Rust wizard. The true CEO of Rust here. So everybody, check him out. Give him a follow. Love what he does. Usually he's building a TUI for Rust, so he's building actually something to be able to build some pretty robust awesomeness. Togglebit, more like Toggle Rust. That's all I got. All right, everybody, thank you very, very much. YouTube, take care. Sorry. Bye-bye. And then, of course, raid now.